Here's yet another set of fantastic upcoming indie games with some throwbacks and games you will not see coming, but let's begin with Prison City, a throwback run-and-gun action platformer that nailed the art style it's going for. This is an all-action side-scroller set in the futuristic year of 1997, where the city of Detroit was taken over and turned into an impregnable mega-prison in 1995, where 2 years later, you play as a retired cop called back into action. Take down the wardens and the techno-terrorists within, where with the look, feel and theme of this game, of course it is chock full of references to 80s and 90s action movies and looks excellent.
Meet Becky Brewster, the new kid in town. Freshman life moves pretty fast at Carpentersville High. Classes, field hockey, social media, and oh yeah, Vampire Slave.
I was so happy to see this game resurface since I've had my eye on #blood for the longest time and have covered this many years ago on the channel. But the latest news is that they have signed with publisher Humble Games, which should give them the capacity to release next year. This is a top-down action-adventure game where you play as a high schooler who comes from a long line of vampire hunters where evil is afoot and you have to prevent the apocalypse while still doing high schooler things. The art style is the standout feature here, looking like it could be straight out of Cartoon Network, where this developer has a pedigree in animation which explains it, and has quickly shot up my list of games to be excited about.
Evil has a new curfew.
This video is brought to you by Spark Defense, an upcoming top-down hero-focused action tower defense game focusing on hero-driven gameplay with a variety of characters to play, combining some elements from MOBAs and tower defense. You're building towers and defenses, fending off waves of creeps while venturing out to explore to find loot and to capture bases. This supports both single player and online co-op for up to 3 players, where you have to defend your harvester, which produces a resource known as Sparkite, in order to upgrade your heroes. Speaking of which, the heroes are aligned with either the jungle or the ice, with maps that correspond to these as well, handcrafted to complement the different heroes. This is currently in an alpha stage, with the playable demo available on Steam, so check it out via the link in the description below, where you're able to get exclusive in-game cosmetics, which are exclusive to this alpha version, so check it out while you can. Okay, so this next title comes with a little bit of an asterisk since the IP is technically owned by Ubisoft, but smaller developer Cappy Games and retro publisher .mu are listed as the main developers on Might and Magic Clash of Heroes Definitive Edition, but since this is one of my all-time favorite Match 3 games, of course I have to give it a mention. I love the Heroes of Might and Magic series dearly, so I love the original release of this game, both on the Nintendo DS and the HD version, where this new release adds in DLC content, quality of life changes and rebalances the multiplayer, where the core game is excellent and gets 2 thumbs up from me. On the surface, Cross Impact looks like just another indie platform fighter, coming from a long lineage of such games from indie pogo to Framemakers, but what's interesting is that the usual suspects are not present, meaning that you don't see Shovel Knight, Isaac or Commander Video, but rather has quite an interesting lineup announced, 2 of which I'm not familiar with in Ortheo from Ortheo and Pel from Lumbar Redux, both games from 2022, as well as Alex from Y2K, Jacket from Hotline Miami, Tori from Tori 3D, and V1 from Ultra Kill, looking to be one of the most interesting mixes of characters. As with the other titles in this space, it can be thought of as a Smash Brothers-like, where knocking your opponent off the world is the objective. The gimmick here is the cross meter, which fills up as you deal and take damage, which encourages aggressive play. With a limited number of characters so far, the developers are taking the time to carefully balance the game with a whole bunch of more technical stuff that platform fighter fans will understand on their Kickstarter page, where this is already fully funded with plenty of time to go. If you're familiar with the life simulation genre, one look at Project Me and you should be able to tell that this is from the developer of My Time at Portia and My Time at Sandrock, since developer Pathia Games does have a signature look, where they just released this trailer for their next game. This seems to be similar in concept to their other games, but it is supposed to be some sort of MMO and is planning to launch on mobile, where the developers gave assurances that the bulk of their team is still working on Sandrock, with a smaller, more experimental bunch testing out this idea, where they want you to sign up for their playtest, link in the description below.
Something on your mind?
No.
This next title is quite interesting since it comes to us from a content creator named Epic Name Bro, who is best known for making videos on FromSoft games, where Radix Chronicle is a tactics RPG that is inspired by SNES and PlayStation games. I like the throwback look, where the ability to manipulate the terrain is one of the key features, with tiles being able to interact with each other and needs to be considered as part of the strategy. The thing that you will notice is the vertical resolution, which I thought was a weird choice, where the developer does address this in their FAQ, saying that it was meant for mobile, but they decided to focus on a PC release due to the audience potential and who they're making the game for, where you can play this letterboxed, windowed, or on a vertical monitor, which still seems weird to me, but if the tactics part is any good, I'll be down to check it out, where this is currently on Kickstarter and is also already fully funded.
Welcome to the land of Mojo. Here we find Jot, the plucky squire, and his friends Violet, Thrash, and Pip. Our heroes protect the land from the villainous sorcerer, Humgrump.
We did also get a new look at the Plucky Squire as well, one of my most anticipated action-adventure games due to its art style, looking absolutely amazing. It has influences from games like Zelda and Punch-Out!, but where the amazing twist is that our hero can escape the 2D realm into 3D, where the game then becomes a 3D action-adventure platformer. The setting of a child's bedroom in the outside world looks neat as well, and while we don't have a release date as of yet, it should be out later this year.
Off the page and into adventure!
The apocalypse wasn't the end of the world, just the one we knew. New dangers have emerged and lurk around every corner. Only the extraordinary have survived this wasteland. We will do anything to find sanctuary.
Modern Atari seems to be turning things around, where long gone are the days of the Asteroids survival game, Atari Hotels and the cherry on top speaker heads, where they've made some interesting modern versions of their classic games, released the mythical Aka R from Jeff Minter, and are now publishing Days of Doom. This is a tactical roguelite RPG set in a zombie and mutant apocalypse, where the tactical action looks good with a nice art style as well. Interestingly, this seems to be inspired by Darkest Dungeon with their base building Hamlet equivalent, but with the more standard post-apocalypse setting that has nothing to do with eldritch horror and is a game of interest to me. Another awesome title to look forward to is this 2D action brawler where you play as a corgi, being able to wield the power of weather in order to literally fight against the evil forces of pollution, where the minute-to-minute action looks great with an absolutely fantastic cartoony art style, which makes Breeze in the Clouds one to watch, and you can find more action platformers in this video.